Welcome and welcome back. If you're returning, welcome. I thank you for sticking with me thus far. Please continue to do so. Please don't forget to like the video, give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment. For those who are tuning in for the first time, welcome. If this is your first time, all of my dishes is easy to make and delicious. I'm a little tongue-tied, I'm a little tired, but all of my dishes are very easy to make and they have to be delicious. They have to be easy. And if this is your first time, I don't like to keep you waiting, so let's get into it. So, for those who are returning, I want to say again, I thank you. Please continue to watch. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. So if you can share this video or share my playlist, it will really help. Also, I do have an affiliate link for those who want to send money for any reason. I was going to say to help out loved ones with groceries, but the way bills are and things are right now, you can use that link to send money for any reason. And it will help me out. It is an affiliate link, so I would get a couple of pennies to help with this channel. So let's get into it. So I am making, I know what you're probably thinking, is that mozzarella? Because it looks just like mozzarella, but no. Today is a tasty treat. I am making cassava palm. Now, I know I'm probably pronouncing it funny, so I'm going to write it down. I'm saying cassava, and others may say yucca. I usually say yucca, but for this purpose, it's cassava. So now there's going to be many different recipes for this cassava palm. So when you see me make it, if you say, okay, that's not how it's made, think of it as meatloaf. And I love to use that because 5 people can make meatloaf and it'll be made 5 different ways, but it's still meatloaf. Okay, now the history of cassava palm is kind of all over the place because cassava palm is eaten almost everywhere. Just to name a couple of countries: Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Barbados, Jamaica. Now, here's where it may get a little bit tricky. Now, I'm told that it originated in Trinidad and Tobago. Most likely it did. Probably it did. But although it's eaten in, like I said, the Caribbean, and now I'm shredding it. Let me tell you what I'm doing. I am shredding it. This was frozen. I kept it in the freezer because it's easier to shred when it's frozen. And I'm going to see, can you see that? Yeah. It's coming out the back. So again, although it's eaten in the Caribbean and South America as well, like Guyana, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's actually an American or Native American or indigenous. Now, you're going to hear me say indigenous and then a Native American. I am speaking about the same people. However, here in the U.S., it's been largely known as Native American, which is kind of funny, Native American. But it's really indigenous people. So although a cassava palm has been eaten in the Caribbean and in South America, it actually derives from the native or indigenous people of the U.S. Now, as always, like most dishes, it takes on the influence of the people like it's from. So if you're in the Caribbean, you may start in the Caribbean. You will start using the ingredients that you have on hand. But yes, it did start in the U.S. I know, kind of strange, right? Cassava palm, something that you may think is Caribbean or South American, actually started with the indigenous people, Native American tribes in the U.S. And it was adapted, like all dishes, by the influence of the inhabitants in the Caribbean and South America. Now, I grew up in the U.S., and we grew up eating sweet potato palm. Again, influenced by the Native American indigenous people and African. Yeah, African influence. And I love it. Maybe next time I make sweet potato palm instead of cassava palm. But it's so easy to make. And I love making my own sweets because you get to decide how much sugar you want in it. You get to decide the ingredients. And like I said, it's going to be different. This is just my version of cassava palm. Now, in Native America, in the Native American tribes, there are so many, but one is the Algonquin people. And, many believe that the word palm actually refers to a native word, referring to a type of bread. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Now, can you see me shredding that? And again, this was frozen. Let me move this out of the way. I'm going to try to adjust the camera so you could get a better view. Okay. I think that's a little bit better. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. Now you could buy it and it looks like a potato, like not quite, but I bought it frozen. And that was because I didn't feel like cutting up a potato. And it was on sale. And it goes a lot faster. And this is what it looks like. This is what I'm shredding. And it's very starchy. And I'm using it frozen because, again, it's easier to shred. And I should have kept it in the refrigerator longer, in the freezer longer. I'm going to use the fine side because I think that may be a little bit better. Yeah. And again, you get to decide how much of the cassava or the yucca you want in your spoon. So, how was everyone's holiday? I know we're way past the 4th of July, but I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Did anyone travel for the summer? I haven't did any traveling myself. Wanted to, but the budget is kind of tight right now. So, who knows? Maybe next time. And again, please let me know where you're watching me from or what would be your recipe for cassava. What would be your take on this recipe, I should say. How do you make yours different from the way I'm making mine? Okay, so I'm now going to put all of that in one plate. And I realize there's still some chunks in there. So I'm going to come in with a knife and try to cut some of them out. But don't worry, if they're too big, I just take them out. Okay. It looks like a mess, but it's delicious. It's worth it. I'm just going to take a bowl. And you'll see why in a second. And I'm going to transfer this to a bowl. And again, every time I look at that, it looks like mozzarella cheese. Let's see if I go, yeah. See that? Looks just like mozzarella cheese. I don't know why. In my mind, I see mozzarella cheese, but that's what I see. But it is delicious. And think of cassava pond or cassava or yucca like a potato. You get to flavor it and say what you want in it. That's another great thing when you make your sweets. You get to say what exactly you want in yours. This one is going to be very simple. So I'm coming in with cinnamon. And everywhere use cinnamon that I find. Now, when I'm in Jamaica, I've had it in Jamaica, Barbados, just different places. And it's, like I said, it's quite different depending on where you are. And as always, all my measurements and ingredients will be in the description box. So don't worry about that. But again, I use cinnamon and cinnamon sugar to be exact. But you can use plain cinnamon if you want. Now, when I was in Jamaica, or when I have it in like a Jamaican restaurant, not just Jamaican restaurant, but Barbados as well, they always had it with raisins, which I love. I love the raisins. So guess what? I'm going to add raisins. Yeah. And when you make it, if you don't like raisins, guess what? You don't have to add raisins. Now, usually I soak my raisins, but I'm not concerned about soaking them this time, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to add liquid to it, and it's going to plump up the raisins. But you can soak your raisins. Now, you could soak raisins in regular warm water, apple juice, any liquid you want. Okay, I'm going in with another box. And again, you don't like raisins? I've had it as plain with, no fillings. So you don't have to put raisins. You can just put your sweetener in your cassava pond. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Now, someone use shredded coconut. I'm using coconut milk. And I find that the coconut milk helps to keep it moist. That is one of the tricks to keeping it moist because it's going to be thick, but you don't want it so thick and it's dried out. I had it like that too. So one of the secrets is the milk of the coconut. Yeah, instead of the shreds, because the milk will give moisture and flavor. Okay. Now, you can't have cassava palm without vanilla. You just can't. You have to have vanilla in it. And I'm just using vanilla extract. Why? Because it was on sale. Simple as that. If you could get vanilla flavor in, great. So there we go. And I love vanilla. Maybe you wouldn't put as much in as I do, but everyone loves vanilla. Now I'm using honey and nothing special as a sweetener. Some places, some will have brown sugar or white sugar, but I'm just going to use honey because why? I have it on hand. And also, if you didn't want to use honey or brown sugar, you can use condensed milk. I've been known to use condensed milk when I have it on hand, but again, I didn't have it on hand and it wasn't on sale. I'm going to let this sit up so it can keep, you know how honey is. So I'm going to put more. Okay. So remember I was saying sometimes the cassava or the yucca can be very dry. It is because it's very starchy. So you have to add the liquid to it. If you don't, you will have it, but it will be very dense. And if you're like me, I really don't care for it when it's very dense and thick and kind of dry. Here's another secret. And most people don't do this either, but I don't mind sharing with you. I'm using 1 stick of melted butter. Yep. If you don't have melted butter, you can use margarine. If you didn't have margarine, you can use oil. If you use oil, I will use like maybe a half a cup. I wouldn't use that much. And why do I use butter? Because it adds more flavor than if I just use oil. Oil actually has absolutely no flavor. So what I'm going to do, I am going to shred up a little bit more of cassava. Oh, Yucca. So here we go. And why am I doing that? Because I realize I have a lot of liquid. And I just feel like I need a little bit more of the cassava. I want the cassava to come through. After all, this is cassava palm. So there we go. Now, if you have a shredder, okay, by all means, use a shredder. But one of the things, if you're new to my channel, I hate it, was I would tune into other channels, and this is no take on them or anything, and they would have such fine equipment, Cuisinarts, and I would say there's no way I could go and make that dish because I guess what, I don't have a Cuisinart, and I can't go and pay $300. That's how much it was costing then. And so I adapt recipes. And guess what? People have been making these dishes without all these fancy equipments for hundreds of years, literally. So you can do it with a shredder. Okay, there we go. Add a little bit more. And now I'm going to give it another stick. And it's going to thicken because the starch from the cassava is going to begin to absorb the liquid. And that's what you want. You want enough liquid that is actually, not too dry. Yep, eggs. Again, I know what you're thinking. I don't put eggs in my cassava. Well, or in my pond. You don't have to, but I do. And again, like I say, adapt it to where you want. I want eggs in mine. It helps to keep it together. I find out if you don't want to put eggs, then you need to use probably condensed milk. I would definitely tell you to use condensed milk. And because I use so much liquid, I'm going to add a little bit more of the vanilla. And I'm going to add some more honey. Now, I like it very sweet. If you say, well, God, that's enough of honey. Hey, don't use any more honey or any more sweetener, but we like it pretty sweet here. Okay. So now, there we go. Now, also, the little ones that I'm having come over, they love raisins. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to add some more raisins. And again, you can make this without adding anything to it. You don't have to put the raisins or anything else. Okay. There we go. You remember I said I wasn't worried about the raisins being dry because of the liquid? And this is what I mean. The raisins is going to plump up because of all of the liquid. Okay? So now I found these cute little tins. And you can put it in any baking dish you want, but I'm just going to use these tins. And here's a trick I found. You have to oil or butter or prepare your baking dish for everything to come out. You know, I have nightmares of preparing a dish and can't get it out. That actually happened. So you always see me oil my baking dish. That was a lot of oil, but don't worry. And you want to make sure you get oil up on the sides because you don't want it to stick at all. I'm using more than one dish, so guess what? See? Nothing goes to waste in this house. Trust me. Everything is too expensive. And I do mean everything. But please take a minute, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Let me know when you make cassava pond, what do you put in yours? Or when you have it, when you go to buy it, what do they usually have in it from the bakery or the restaurant you get it from? Or if your family have a recipe that's different than the one that I'm making, let me know where they're from. I'm always interested and curious to know things like that. Because I know each one of us have a different background. And what I mean by that is you can have 10 people from Jamaica, you can have 10 people from Barbados, and each one of them will make a difference. Different. Each person, it's different. Same thing in the U.S. Like I always say, it's just like meatloaf. It's going to be made different. Okay. So now I'm going to give this a stir. Stir this up. And I'm going to pour it in. And on this one, I'm going to pour some more in. And there's a reason why I'm leaving some in there. And I'm going to show you in a minute. Now, I had 3 of them. I know you're counting that. Are you like me? I used to do things like that when I watched your channel. Wasn't it 3? And now I only see 2. I wonder why. Here you go. Remember I said one of the great things about making your own sweet dish or recipe or whatever you're making, you can tweak it the way you want. You could put what you want in it. I'm about to show you in a minute. Okay. Now I would say the raisins is very traditional to a pond. Very traditional, especially cassava. And, whether you get it from Jamaica or Barbados, I've had it both with raisins. Here go what I don't really have it with. Mangoes. Now, I've had it with dry fruit, to be honest. I've had it with dry fruits, which included mango. But I never had it with, the diced mangoes. So guess what I'm going to do? And please, before you come to my head, I know it's not tradition. But since I'm making it for me, I'm going to add. Okay, so I added the mango. I don't know what happened with my camera, but I added mangoes, as you saw. And I'm just going to stir it up. You can see the mangoes in it. Yeah, you can. And you see the raisins. So here's the one with the mangoes and the raisins. And I'm going to get this into the oven. I'm going to get all 3 of them into the oven. Now, everyone's oven is really different. So I'm going to set mine at 300. And I'm going to set it at 300. And I'm going to start looking at it maybe 25 minutes to 30 minutes. Now, in reality, it probably won't even take that long because you can see they're quite small and it's not a lot. So, but everyone, like I said, oven is different. So you start checking yours, I would say after 20 minutes or 25 minutes, and you just want it to brown and stiffen up. So if your oven cooks and is done at 25 minutes, 30 minutes, you need no need to keep it in any longer. All right, so let's get this in the oven. Okay, so I managed to cook my cassava pond. I was just about to say sweet potato pond, but it's actually cassava pond. Yes, I grew up eating sweet potato pond, so that's why I always say sweet potato. But you remember I said everyone oven is different? Mine was actually done, I would say like 25 minutes, 22 minutes. I did let it stay in a little bit longer, like 5 minutes, just to brown up. And I wish we had smell-o-vision because this thing is so good. So I'm going to turn it out. And it's a good thing that I really oil the, I don't know, the little pan because it comes out so easily. Do you see the raisins? Oh, they're so delicious. I'm turning it upside down because I want you to see the raisins. Oh, it is delicious. Let me tell you, this is a wonderful treat to make for yourself or even for the family. No, I haven't forgot the one with the mangoes. It's actually even heavier. Now, the one with the mangoes, can you see the mangoes? So I'm going to keep it right side up so everyone can see the mangoes. Because if I turn it upside down, you see more of the raisins than the mangoes. Please take a minute, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. And there is a link. Like I said, if you want to send money to your family for any reason, it is an affiliate link, so it really would help out the channel. Now, I could leave it just like this, but you know me. And if you don't, you will. I always like to tweak my stuff. So I'm actually going to tweak it with, or I don't know, jizz it up a little bit with coconut flakes. And why not? Do you have to do this? Absolutely not. But why not? And, you know, coconut. Who could go wrong with that? Who can say that's not traditional or authentic? So the Caribbeans, absolutely. To South America, absolutely. So I think I'm just going to sprinkle some on. Just a little bit. Even on the mango one. And why not? I think that looks beautiful. I'm going to put it all around the plate. And look at that. Oh, I can't wait to bite into this. I am going to share. Maybe. Again, take a minute, hit the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what ingredients you would have put in to make this your own. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So, until next time, enjoy.